Eyes look a little swollen.
Why? Oh, they look swollen because of the tears.
Yeah, just because of the tears. Because of the salty tears.
Well,
yeah.
It's only about 11:15.
We got enough fighting in for
11:20.
the WWA.
Yeah. We're getting better at fighting.
I think that was actually, the thing is, I hovered outside. I did leave twice, but I did come back twice.
And I didn't even chase after you.
You didn't chase after me, but you were willing for me to come back as well.
Well, Alfie came up and he was like, okay, she's there. Just be nice. Just be nice. Be nice. And I was like, well, I'm going to wait for her to come up here. Actually, she can just come up here.
And then you came around the corner when I came up the stairs and we were both like, shit.
I was going to go, boo.
Yeah, that would have been good. That would have been a fun little fight. That would have been fun.
Yeah, it wasn't ideal. It's just very tense right now, isn't it?
It is so tense, God. I did wake up clearly on the wrong side of bed this morning.
Well, I think it's an interesting topic to talk about because lots of people who listen to this are sisters. And sisters, unless you're twins, going to be born at different times.
Yeah, different times.
So the age gap sometimes does really become quite clear, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That was the baby burping, sorry. I think just we have very different priorities or values about and very specific differences.
But we also have very specific triggers, right? So for example, something like being 10 minutes late wouldn't trigger me.
11, 12 minutes, probably 15.
It was not 15. It was not 15. And it was only, anyway, so lateness isn't something that triggers me, but sometimes certain inflections that would trigger me wouldn't trigger you and stuff. So it's really interesting to see the ways that it's sometimes we can bring out the worst in each other.
Yeah. They're almost kind of designed, the differences are designed for us to explode. Because I wanted to say a more intelligent word than explode. I wanted to say annihilate each other, but then I panicked and I was like, just say explode.
Explode. Yeah.
They're polar opposites sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Becca. Sorry. I think it sounds fine. So I think the lateness thing comes down to me feeling like I'm not important to be on time for. And I think it stems from probably being a loser at school and waiting for kids to play with me and just thinking, oh, no one's going to turn up to my party or no one's going to want to play with me at playtime. Or if they do, they're going to just rock up late and I'm not worthy of making an effort for. Yeah. I think that's what it stems for. And it is insane how upset I get about it.
No, and I understand, and I should be more sensitive to that. Because of course I know it's not it's obviously, maybe not entirely rational, but at the same time.
Okay, other thing. My aunt situation.
Yeah.
My aunt situation.
Have you got ants in your pants?
No. Just wait, let me just get my boob out. Sorry.
Put them back in, okay? We don't need any more Instagram comments.
Oh my God.
I love that. We can get to that in a minute because that actually links quite well to fighting and whatnot, how we deal with conflict.
But the ants sometimes now, whenever anything goes on to just like that on my skin,
you think it's an ant.
I think it's an ant crawling in my ear.
It's an ant. Makes sense. No, look, even the 10 minutes late thing, obviously I wasn't doing that intentionally to hurt you. The reason I got upset was because I felt like I didn't get a chance to justify it. Hey, I felt like shit when I woke up this morning. I didn't want to look like shit. I knew that you, for some reason, always look radiantly beautiful, even if it's 6 a.m. in the morning. I take a few hours to put myself together. And I just wanted to be good enough that we could both have a good time. So it was both of us coming. We both wanted the same thing, to be in a good mood, to do a good thing. But we both just came from these bad angles. And I did lose my shit. I did lose my top, didn't I? I did lose my top pretty quick. So,
I'm really worried I just showed everyone my nipple.
Don't worry, it's fine. I'll edit it out if you did.
What time is that?
No, it's fine.
4:45.
I'll find it.
4:45.
Don't worry.
Cut the nipple. Yeah. And
Alfie was a pretty good mediator, to be fair.
Alfie's an amazing mediator.
Yeah.
Sometimes I see him do things like that when he was just being so calm and gentle with both of us. Or the other day he was on the phone to somebody who was asking his advice, and I was just eavesdropping, and he was so amazing. And I just thought, you're wasted. You're just wasted on stand-up comedy. Why are you not doing, why are you not a therapist? Why are you not a lawyer?
That's sweet.
Why are you a stand-up comedian? You are too good at this.
Well, he can be the comedian's therapist. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but, is it work? Surely he should be doing good to help. But then I guess doing good to help is laughter and performing and stuff.
Exactly. Laughter is the best medicine, as they always say.
It really is, which is why I should have said boo.
It's why you should have said boo. It honestly is why you should have said boo coming around that corner. That would have given me the shock of my life.
I know.
That would have shocked the anger out of me.
The annoying thing about being with a comedian, which you probably have found, is, hang on.
Everything always gets resolved with comedy.
Yeah.
Which sometimes isn't actually the best route, right?
Oh, it's so annoying.
Like, it's not exactly sweeping it under the rug and therefore it's still there. Because sometimes it really does, laughter does help solve issues. But sometimes if they make you laugh before you fully finished the before you fully resolved everything, then the next time you have that fight, you're like, wait, this is exactly what I was trying to say to you before you started making fart noises on my arm.
Yeah, or making me laugh about something. So we had a fight yesterday about a reel that I was doing. Yeah. And I was trying to get him to help me with.
Great reels, Jessie.
Oh, thank you.
Guys, isn't Jessie's reel making abilities? It's just gone whoop, whoop. It's just gone from here to here.
I've gone mental, basically.
I loved this one. I fucking loved the baby stretching their arms one. That was so unexpected. I was like, oh, this is a sweet little wholesome thing. And then you fucking turned up. Oh my God.
That's getting some traction as well, because apparently you shouldn't swaddle babies.
Why
Which is ridiculous. You've been swaddling babies for thousands of years. Anyway, I had a minor breakdown.
Actually, do you know what? On swaddling babies, I did see a TikTok that links the tight swaddling that apparently Russian women have done historically for a long time to autism.
Oh, okay.
Because they swaddle them so tightly in so many layers of fabric that when they're soothed by something that is not a human connection. Right. Apparently that is a link. Isn't that interesting?
Okay. Well, I only swaddle...
You only swaddle one layer. You're fine.
One layer? Oh, do they swaddle more than one layer?
Oh, they go for like a whole thing.
Like a mummy effect?
Yeah, like a mummy. Literally, the baby looks like this cocooned little... It's actually very strange to look at.
Oh, and it has a hat thing.
It has a hat.
Alfie showed me that.
Yeah, it has a hat.
Oh, God, no, we don't go that far.
No, you don't go that far.
And also, they're in a swaddle that actually only does the arms. The legs are free. So all the hip problems that people are talking about, that wouldn't. Anyway, I had a breakdown because I wanted to do this reel, and it didn't work out. 10 woke up or something. The real time was gone. Mm-hmm. And I then immediately got into a bad mood. It was actually a bad mood about everything other than the reel. Of
course.
But obviously he thought I was having a breakdown about doing a reel and found it hilarious. And getting out of that fight was just so annoying because I couldn't stop laughing because it is so silly.
Yeah.
If it was about a reel, it'd be so silly.
Yeah.
And that just compounded his belief that it was about the reel, and I was now embarrassed. Yeah. Oh, it's just so annoying how funny they are.
It's so annoying. And then also I feel like because they're both Aries men and they both tend to go for the logic route, right? And I would say that we don't exactly go for the logic route when it comes to fighting, do we? So I even had a bit of a disagreement with him this week because I got back from filming this short film and we'll talk about our different working experiences in a minute. But I got back from filming this short film on a Wednesday night, and it got to Saturday and we hadn't seen each other yet. And I knew that I had work, this part-time job I do, and that was the shifts were finishing late with that. I knew he had work as well. But I just felt like, given that I'm the one that went away, I feel like you should be making more effort to come to me. But when we finally did come back, he snuck up on me on this day where I had expressed that I was a bit upset. He snuck up on me. And it was really annoying because at the place I was working, I really wanted to be doing something really cool when he came in. But of course I was just scratching. I was probably picking my nose and looking at my phone. So he snuck up on me, surprised me. And I just couldn't maintain that composure of being cool and annoyed. He just made me laugh and then laughed me straight into a resolution. So
that will continue forever. Apparently how you fight in the first few months is how you'll always fight.
Yeah, makes sense. It's
But
always been the same way.
I don't believe that actually, because I feel like I've improved a lot. But that's probably because of the breakup. Because we burnt everything to the ground and then we had to rebuild.
Yeah, but also what's so funny is when I was texting you about it, because I was upset with Horatio, but I decided to not take it out too much there. I wanted to think about what I was doing. So I texted you. And I think anybody else's response would have been like, oh my God, stand your ground, girl. Stand your ground, feminism. Whereas your response was, he's not going to change. They don't change. Accept it now. Accept it now.
No, but this is something I actually really wanted to talk about because
really
I think everyone has such high expectations nowadays. Like I was speaking to some mums about the school the kids are at and they were like, no, we need to improve this, we need to improve that. And I was just thinking, well, it's quite good. It's fine. I think my expectations about everything are so low that I think it's arrogant to want more.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think what was really refreshing about what you were saying was rather than basically like, no, get a flamethrower, fucking set a light to this, don't like shift your position at all. He's done something wrong. You were actually coming at it from the, like, he has tried. You just haven't seen maybe this or this and you want to have a nice time. You have things to do together. Don't ruin it. It was actually a much more balanced way of looking at the situation.
No, it's because I know the bottom line is you love him.
Exactly.
And he loves you. So don't waste time thinking this argument isn't going to happen again because it will.
Exactly.
So just get to the root of it. Tell him you're upset, but ultimately there's nothing he thinks he's right, you think you're right.
Exactly.
And get over it. And that once I switched to that mindset with Alfie, it was a game changer.
It was so helpful because then we ended up having a lovely weekend.
Oh, it's so great. And I think, and not to kind of, I don't know, self-aggrandize at all, but I think the fact that I didn't have relationships before Alfie in my 20s and I was so independent, not by choice, but just because I never had any romantic long-term things, my identity was so formed when I met Alfie that I feel like it's been really great in a way because we both are so independent of each other day to day and we unite on certain things. But I think that helps a lot because I'm not expecting him to make me feel better at all.
Exactly.
And or save me.
Exactly. Because I think the kind of the impression of relationships that's really put forward now is this idea that like, don't take anything less than perfection. He has to like, if he doesn't accept you at your worst, he doesn't get you at your best type of thing, which there are certain grains of truth to that. But at the same time, it's not like all women are perfect either. No. So it's like, I think that it is important to have elements of compromise. And with this fight, I knew that I was actually coming at it from quite an emotional place because I just wanted what I wanted. And seeing it from your perspective, even though our text, if somebody was to read our text chats, they'd probably think, oh my God, that's so not feminist or whatever. But it was incredibly empowering to be like, yeah, I can accept actually that I want to have a nice time. So I'm going to let this go. Yeah.
And also, if you want this, he will not change.
Yeah. I mean, like people don't change.
But I'm not saying that he's bad. No. He's brilliant. But what I mean is in certain things like that, men won't ever be able to see that subtext that you want them to see.
They just won't.
They won't ever be led there.
They just won't.
You have to explain it so explicitly. And even when you explain it explicitly, it won't get understood.
No.
So you have to just accept that and accept that's never going to change. Mm-hmm. And it'll be fine.
Exactly. And like make your life and your relationship, like incorporate those like truths that you know about each other into the relationship rather than trying to like pretend like you're both these perfect people because that's never going to work, is it?
The thing is, if he was different and he did see that subtext that you kind of like, you thought you put the breadcrumbs there, but he didn't see the breadcrumbs and he'd be a different person.
Exactly.
So you can find that guy who will go out of their way to come and meet you at your work and surprise you and see you when you're looking really cool and be sensitive and write you love letters and,
But I dated that guy and he gave me the ick.
Exactly. So you're choosing who you want to be with and their flaws. And it's just so freeing to love someone and love their flaws as well.
Well, maybe that's what we should do with each other, Jessie.
I know.
We should love each other's
flaws. No, but
flaws.
I do. I think I'm getting better at it.
You are. Look at us doing a podcast
We're bouncing back after it.
We said that we were going to quit the podcast today. We were both so clearly trying to like be the more one that's ready to leave it, right? So like when you said that you didn't want to do it anymore, and I was like, yeah, no, that's actually something that I've been thinking for a long time. I think that it would be better for both of us if we don't do it.
No, but you're being so sensitive to my time problem, which is that I desperately want to be around the kids the entire time and also be this high functioning professional work woman.
Yeah.
Those two things don't, and sorry if this is unfeminist again, but they don't line up.
Yeah, you can't do it all.
I have to choose one or the other daily.
Who can do it all?
And so
Gal Gadot, maybe?
I've just... Who?
Gal Gadot.
Who the fuck is that?
You know, the Wonder Woman. It was just a joke.
Oh,
it was actually
I don't know.
joke.
I don't get that joke. But I've put off for so long saying, okay, I'm going to have a day to myself here to work and do this with you and do this with you because I'm afraid because I don't want to.
And you feel huge guilt as well.
I just want them to know that I was always here. But the thing is, I'm always here and I'm probably always a bit of a drag. So I think it's time for me now, even though he's only 15 weeks, I think, 15, 14 weeks. I have stuff to do and I just have to be like, okay, 2 days a week or 3 days a week, I will do a little bit more. And I've always just said to you last minute, oh, we'll fit it in here or we'll fit it in here. But I think it will help us both just knowing we're doing this every week and we're starting this time. And
Yeah.
It's just me being afraid to separate those two things. And it's also knowing constantly that it's such a short period of time before they're off and they're at nursery and they're doing their own thing. And I just want to enjoy it. But the thing is, I also need to get a grip.
Well, also, I think that, and we said this before about this age difference thing. And like, I can understand why it would be so frustrating, like that I can't conceive of how like difficult and time consuming it is having the 4 kids. Because even in the few times when I've like babysat or like slept here, and I feel like an actual, I feel like I haven't slept for 3 years when I've slept with them for one night. And I just don't, I try and understand how difficult that would be. But the fact is I don't have that life. So it's like, I can't even really begin to understand what it's like.
And the annoying thing, I guess, about the age gap is that when I say stuff to you like, look, I can only do 9 to 11:30. Yeah. That's all I can do. And you're like, why can't it be 10?
And I'm like, 9? I don't like the sound of 9.
Why can't it be 10? So because if I don't start getting him ready for his nap at 11:30, he won't be asleep by 12. And then I won't be able to wake him up 1:30. And then I won't have my hour where I can sit and eat my smoothie and watch the news or everything I know about love or something. And then be relaxed so that when I can do it all again from 2 to 4 to 7 to whatever, it's just so regimented.
I almost said this morning, I was like, don't talk to me before my coffee. I knew you hadn't had a coffee yet. I hadn't had a coffee
I knew you were going to get her and make a coffee and you were already late. So I was like,
I hadn't even popped my sertraline yet.
So I thought, okay, I'm going to text him and say, the door's open. I'm setting up. And I should have texted you last night to be like, just so you know, we have to finish at 11.
There will be a fight if you do not turn up on time.
It's just awful. I hate being that annoying punctual. That's the other thing. I'm a Taurus.
Yeah.
What a Taurus? What's the number one defining trait of a Taurus?
Stubborn.
No, punctual.
Okay, look,
punctual
it's not my fault.
Bebe. It's not my punctual, fault. Stubborn, and loyal.
Loyal, very loyal, very loyal.
I don't think fucking cancers are loyal.
No, I know. I had a stress dream as well last night. I've been having recurring stress dreams where I keep going into the Love Island villa and just and for some reason you and our mum are there in like the pre-villa bit where, like they're deciding who's going to go in now, who's going to be in Casa Amor. And I was really scared and you guys were the ones to really give me that final push to go in. But then I ended up being coupled up with Andrew last night.
That means nothing to me.
Nothing to you. Yeah. Okay. No, that's actually true. I forgot about that. Anyway, it was very stressful. I was in a frenzy this morning, just like trying to work out what was real and what wasn't,
No, my dreams have been very vivid too. I think also the ants have really affected me. And I know that I keep going on about the ants on both podcasts.
Incredibly distressing.
But so I had one night, when was it? 2 nights ago, I think our mum had them, but I just had Becca. And I thought, okay, this will be my night to sleep. This will be my night to sleep because it's just been so difficult lately. And in the middle of the night, obviously, a fly landed on my shoulder.
Oh, no.
A fucking fly.
Disgusting.
I howled. I scared the shit out of him. He was terrible. And in my like lucid dreaming state, I thought that I was in some kind of insect nest and I was going to die and we were going to be eaten by a spider or something. And then I just didn't sleep. I was bolt upright, 2:38 onwards, just not sleeping.
Aww.
Because of the ants I've lost trust in the bedroom.
Yeah, I would lose trust in the bedroom too.
I don't trust this bedroom anymore.
Creepy crawlies everywhere.
Just terrible.
You don't want ants in the bedroom, especially. You don't want them in bed. That's the worst place for an ant to be.
So I put glue all alongside of the room, and I think the glue's worked. I don't know. If no one's heard of this, I discovered this glue trick for ants, and you should be grateful.
Did you look it up online?
No, I just thought, well, they won't be able to get through glue.
Genius, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah, quite genius.
Yeah.
But then you're just going to have loads of ant carcasses everywhere, aren't you?
No, because I've glued up the hole.
Oh, you've glued up the holes.
Yes. Yeah.
Clever.
I think
clever
it is
girl.
clever. Hopefully I can stop talking about ants soon, one day.
No, it's good.
But we were going to say about our working experiences.
Yeah, do you know what?
Because just to be clear with the audience here, not only have we had a fight this morning, we also did record a podcast last week, but we talked too much about hate.
We were a little bit,
hatey.
We were a little bit hatey.
Not about us hating people, about people hating us.
But we were just talking about haters. It was actually a very weird tangent that we went on.
I thought it was great.
I thought it was great after, and then I listened to it back and I was like, oh, that can't go out there. oh, no. But I think that, it makes sense. Look, we've both been in heightened levels of like stress and stuff recently.
And change. And
it's fucking scary. And money is tight. The Prime Minister is resigning. It's just
topical.
Topical. Don't say we're not topical because we read the news.
Watch the news.
Yeah,
don't read it.
No. My Apple News, I don't have an Apple News subscription, and all the articles I want to read are on that. And it's like, you need to get a subscription. Anyway, but Jessie had a very interesting working experience recently, didn't you?
Yeah, so I did my first presenting job. I haven't signed a contract yet, so my mum said that. That's because they could still want to fire you.
Yeah.
So that's why you haven't. I think it's all going through, and I think it will happen. Very exciting. But
how many episodes did you do?
9 in 1 week.
That's insane.
Yeah, really insane. And I'm going back to it. But the amazing thing about this job is that I wouldn't have gone up for it had my agent accidentally not thought. I don't know that there was some kind of reason because I wasn't going to be available to do it. Not that people are knocking down my door, but I'd said I'm not going to work for a bit, obviously, because he's so little. And it just happened to come through and they were like, oh, sorry, we shouldn't have put you up for this, but do you want to meet for it, blah, blah, blah. So it was a completely lucky dream job situation that I feel incredibly grateful to have got. But because of the baby, they've let me take the baby with me. So my mum basically just wore him the entire time. And it's also a very unique job because it's filmed in a really cool, huge space. So I could just see the baby wherever I was. And my mum would just wave when I needed to feed him. Everyone was completely cool with breastfeeding, completely cool with me having breaks. I've never had such a cool working experience.
Empowering.
And
so empowering.
Wasn't embarrassed to say, can I go and feed the baby? Whereas on an acting job.
Yeah, I feel like it would be very different vibes because you're wearing a costume and they'd be all
and they were really upset. No, they weren't upset, but it was much more like, you've got 10 minutes. And they don't realize 10 minutes, I can get one boob out in 10 minutes. That's not going to do anything in 10 minutes. You can't breastfeed a baby in 10 minutes. Unless the baby's like, so it was a really good experience.
If you put like a Nesquik straw, it's not to the cocoa bubbles. Maybe that would speed me up.
No, apparently there is a straw when you want to do formula feeding, but you want the baby to think that it's still getting your boob.
Yeah.
You just put some kind of straw device by your nipple.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a natural thing.
Or you just put a little sugar.
That's what I would
straw
do. Feeding. Straw feeding.
Straw feeding.
You could do Nesquik.
I could do Nesquik, right?
I remember I used to judge the mums so hard. Whenever I saw a baby with a bottle of like Ribena or Coke or chocolate milk, I'd be like, you are disgusting. Now I'm like,
good on you, girl. Aye, Captain,
Now that 10 has a complete addiction to Robinson squash, which is sugar-free, but...
Sames, okay? Are we just going to drink water? Just like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
I know. When people are at a restaurant, they're like, I just have water.
Oh, Oh my God, no.
Oh God.
Maybe a sparkling water, but even then it's like, I want a little something.
Yeah, you just need some sweet sugar.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry, back to your presenting job.
No, so it was just really good experience, but it did wipe me out. And then the following year, you had your experience, which wiped you out.
Yes. I went
which is completely different for you as well.
Oh, completely. I was very lucky to be involved in a short film in Whitby. And
people did ask about Whitby. Somebody sent in a question, be like, "Bebe, talk about Whitby, please."
Talk about Whitby.
Where is Whitby?
Whitby is like a beach town, like a sort of seaside town near Yorkshire.
Right.
And
did not know that.
It was so cool and retro. Like the arcades were just like nothing I've ever seen. They had some of the coolest games. I got to ride around in a little mini car.
Oh, you love an arcade, don't you?
I do love an arcade.
Yeah.
I do. It's one of my actually genuine manic pixie dream girl traits, not like all of the other ones where I've completely self-manufactured them to try and seem interesting. I do genuinely love arcades.
I have no idea what you just said, but it sounded very indie film.
Thank you.
And I like
No, I'm just saying, you know how like girls have like quirky habits?
Yeah, I like cat necklaces.
I knit. I just sit there and knit. Like so many of those hobbies when I was a teenager, I kind of articulated to try and make myself more interesting. And going to arcades is so manic pixie dream girl, but that is something I genuinely do love to do. Anyway, this script was written by a lovely girl called Rachel, who's now a very good friend of mine. She's my age. And she kind of...
I don't like her.
Don't worry, Rach. Don't worry. She's a fan of the podcast.
Oh, that's
she was
nice.
listening to the podcast. I actually put this on my Instagram like last year. She was listening to the podcast in King's Cross Station and I walked off the carriage and she like ran up to me and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm listening to your podcast." Because she's Northern.
Yeah.
Anyway, she then messaged me about the script and it like I had no expectations. I didn't know really what I was going into because I guess I just tried to not think about it too much, but because I didn't want to like overthink it. And I guess acting stuff is so few and far between sometimes that you kind of like, I've now adopted this mindset of like, don't even think about it. Like, don't even worry about it. You just try to not get hurt maybe. But then to go into this experience and this wonderful team of women and everyone was so enthusiastic and so like committed, but also like on a budget, you know, filming in a co-op like from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. before it opens. It felt so like, I actually felt like I was doing good acting for the first time. I haven't felt like that in a very long time.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I just was so supported by everyone and I made such good friends and it was a really wonderful experience. It was exhausting too because, you know, emotionally it was like
But
quite
it must
intense.
be so great to see people just trying
Really
and
fucking trying.
actually making good work.
And not being too cool for school about it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Everyone was so enthusiastic and like taking pictures and like, you know, being so proud of the fact that, you know, they have other jobs too. Like me too. Like I can't sustain myself purely from creative stuff.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you should be ashamed. Like
absolutely.
It was just such a wicked environment and it made me feel so much better about everything.
But it just goes to show though, because both of us has taken time to recover from those two things.
Oh yeah.
And it shows that we, you know, you have to listen to your body and just prepare. I think I thought I could come home and immediately look after the kids and immediately do activities with them and play with them at the weekend. I should have just said, okay, I'm going to be absolutely knackered.
Yeah.
I can't do anything all weekend.
Course.
I actually probably shouldn't. They should stay with someone. Like I couldn't function because I was just knackered from doing not only a job, but breastfeeding Becca the entire time and the nights. Whenever I wasn't working, I was feeding. And then because my routine, my routine is so crucial to me. And my routine was all messed up because of that week. I would get back to the hotel at 8 and then feed him for 3 hours. So I should have just listened to my body and foreseen
that you would need a long time to be able to recover.
Yeah, and I think we don't really do that enough. And I think especially because both of us are quite like, we won't talk about the fact that, you know, we're actually struggling a little bit in this area, or we're both trying to hide that a little bit. Yeah. And that's why we have fights like we did this morning, because we're both trying to keep each other happy and keep each other afloat, but actually
sometimes it's really difficult. Yeah. And
in your brain, when it's used in a completely different way, is exhausting.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And also I think that with mental health as well, it's so non-linear and that can be really frustrating, because I certainly felt like at a period of time earlier this year, I felt like the worst I've ever felt. But I took measures to, you know, get better and try to learn a lot about myself and how I could feel better. And I feel like I've really made so much progress. But then this morning, I was so fucking crazy and like horrible and upset and just burst into tears for no reason that I think that was part of the reason why I then couldn't let it go, because I was like, well, clearly I'm not doing any fucking better, you know? And it frustrated me so much because I was like, so stupid to get upset.
I know, but also
about
our ways
so
of fighting are so different. You're so emotional. And I'm like a cold ice queen.
You argue like I text.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've recovered. We're fine.
We have recovered, haven't we?
We're great. We're going to do fine. We now have a limited amount of time before 10 wakes up. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to end this podcast and say goodbye to everybody who's not a Patreon, just subscriber. Yeah. Because we have also got this guilt because we have such nice, supportive people who love our podcast.
So many people have come up to me recently, like way more than ever, even though, I don't know, it's been so strange. Like, people coming up to me in the street, people coming up to me when I'm at my part-time job, which I do find deeply embarrassing, but just to say that they're big fans of the podcast and stuff.
And lots of new patrons, and we feel bad that we haven't put extra stuff out for them. So from now on, every week, there's going to be an extra bonus episode on Patreon, and we will stick to that because we actually are going to assign a day.
A whole day.
A day. Tuesday, every week. Not next Tuesday, but the following.
It's Margot's birthday next Tuesday.
So
Don't worry, I'll do something special for Patreon on Tuesday.
No, we'll work out a different day, but we're going to be so regular and punctual.
Yeah.
You can rely on us.
Because we don't want to give up on each other.
No, and
we don't want to give up on you.
No. And we love talking about our fights.
Yeah. I think that we talk about our fights better than anything else.
But if this is an incentive for you to become a patron, I'm about to talk about a celeb who held my baby. So please become a patron, patreon.com/K-Sisters. We are doing a live podcast.
Yeah.
Or have you cancelled that?
I already cancelled it. I already cancelled it after the fight.
Well, we're doing one in October, which is going to be at a really
Should I email her back?
You could, but I think the one in October, it's October the 9th.
I was like, I already cancelled it.
I know. I was thinking, is she actually going to? Anyway, the one in October is at a really big venue in Balham.
I know where that is.
In the afternoon, and we'd love people to come to that one. It's quite a long time away to book, but please do.
But hey, we'll make it a show. We'll make it a spectacle.
Yeah. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
And we'll be back very soon.
We'll be back very soon. Less puffy eyes.